the thrills and it's the spills of off-road stadium racing. And tonight, it's round number 2 of the Mickey Thompson Off-Road Grand Prix. The site, Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego. What's going on right now? It's autograph time here at Jack Murphy Stadium. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Chamberlain. I'd like you to meet the man that probably knows more about off-road racing than we thought was humanly possible, Marty Reed. And Marty, what's this all about?
Where'd he go? Where'd he go? I'll tell you what, we have got thrills and excitement for you tonight. If you missed our first race of the series, stay with us tonight, because with the Grand National Sport Trucks, granddaddies of the sport, $150,000 race machines, they will be leaning on each other through this tight, twisting, and jump-filled course, and they go fast.
The Super 1600s tonight.
Well, Super 1600s is basically the formula cars of this sport.
One of the most popular of all the divisions is the Ultra Stock.
Well, if you were a drag racing fan, you would call them funny cars because they are exotic looking, but again, very, very lightweight, very fast.
And we did not leave the motorcycle races out of it. They call it Ultra Cross Racing.
Well, 250 cc's of romping, stomping terror, and if you want to see airborne wings, I mean, you don't have to have jet fighters. These guys will do it.
The Air Force here tonight in San Diego. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. The Grand National Sport Trucks are built to fall apart, and we will guarantee you they will do just that. Don't go away. The Mickey Thompson Off-Road Championship Grand Prix from San Diego coming right at you. The Mickey Thompson Off-Road Grand Prix Championships are brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, and proud sponsors of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Welcome back, everybody, to Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego for the Mickey Thompson Off-Road Championship Grand Prix. Heat race number 2 of the Grand National Sport Trucks. These are the ones everybody comes to see. They are fiberglass bodies built to break away. And ladies and gentlemen, don't be surprised if they do just that. Right, Marty?
Well, in heat number 1, we had Steve Millen and Ivan Stewart in Toyotas taking first and second. Guess what's going to start on the pole for heat number 2? Mazdas. Front row, Glenn Harris and Rod Millen. Then Dan Esslinger, who finished third in heat number 1, will have Jeff Huber in another Mazda inside of him. Then Steve Millen and Ivan Stewart will be back in row number 3, and there is Al Unser Sr.
Al looking very fit and trim. We talked to him earlier today, and he's excited to be here, and the fans are excited to have a man of Al Unser's ability racing here at the Mickey Thompson Off-Road Grand Prix Championship at Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego, California.
But Mazda's on the front row, and we're ready to go.
Well, you're right. The Mazdas are all the white cars in the lead, and they drop the flag, and there they go. It's the number 21 car of Rod Millen. He's leading in points on the circuit this year, Marty, and right away, he serves notice and takes the lead.
And look at Ivan Stewart leaning on Jeff Huber really hard, and Huber won't let Ivan Stewart go through.
So once again, the number 21 car of Rod Millen is in the lead, and right behind him is Glenn Harris, his teammate. Mazda's everywhere. You see the flames belching out of the sides, Marty. What does that mean?
Well, these are not turbocharged vehicles. What happens is the Mazda puts so much fuel through the system that the excess actually goes down through the pipes and then is burned off as exhaust flame.
Well, that is Dan. Have you driven a Ford lately? Esslinger in 3rd place right now, but it's the Mazdas that are looking in fine shape. We've got 7 laps remaining. This is an 8-lap event.
Well, Steve Millen just puts Esslinger to 4th place. Now Esslinger's trying to take it back. Then we're back up front right now with Rod Millen, and there's the battle for 3rd place, and it's still Esslinger in the Ford ahead of Steve Millen in the Toyota. Now Millen won heat number 1.
Steve Millen lives in Irvine by way of New Zealand, one of the true gentlemen of this sport. Loves to do interviews, loves to talk to the fans, and loves to talk all about off-road racing. And right now, his foot's doing all the talking, Marty.
Yeah, and we just had a shot there momentarily. Walker Evans got way out of shape, way wide into turn 1, and now he's trying to regroup. And now, back in turn number 1. Look at this, as it looks as though the number 2 vehicle, Glenn Harris, has gotten hung up. And Esslinger has moved into 2nd place. Walker Evans is now in 3rd. Millen is in 4th, and there is your leader way up front, number 21, Rod Millen.
Well, Glenn Harris went into a major stall. I thought he was going to drop out of the race as Esslinger swerves around the course. But there's the leader once again on the far side of the course. And grabbing some air, ladies and gentlemen, Rod Millen.
Let's stay with this battle for 2nd and 3rd because Rod Millen is in a league by himself right now in the Mazda. He's getting a lot of help from his teammates as far as keep letting no one through. But watch Esslinger as he gets high up over that bump and going over in that corner right into the wall at turn number 2. A Mazda and one of the Toyotas. It looks like, I can't tell, yes, it's Jeff Huber, and it looks like Iron Man Ivan Stewart.
Well, it's still in the lead. There is your leader, ladies and gentlemen. It is Rod Millen, but in second place is Dan Esslinger, and it is Walker running in third place right now in a Jeep. And look at him going sideways in front of him. And number 5, it's unbelievable.
Walker Evans
just stepped right in and took advantage.
Well, Esslinger got sideways, and that's going to cost him a place. You can't do that with Walker Evans. This is the best performance the Jeep has had so far this season. Now, knocking on the door is Ironman Ivan Stewart. And there it is, just taking away third spot from Esslinger. So now Ivan's looking to get past Walker Evans. Let's go to second and third. There you see the battle.
How well we remember Anaheim, California. Ivan, the Ironman Stewart, was going crazy trying to catch up with the Mazdas. Right now it is a Jeep in front of him, and there's the race for second place. Walker and Stewart. And there it is, Walker Evans and Stewart going toe-to-toe for second place.
Well, this is the finest horsepower performance that Walker Evans has put on with the Jeep so far this year. They have been having a tough time with that four-cylinder engine, but it looks like they have got it under control now, and he is holding off Ironman Ivan Stewart. And right now, it's Rod Millen way out in front. This is the real race for second place. There is Rod. He is a good 2 turns ahead of second and third place, as here you see the battle between Walker Evans in the Jeep and Ironman Ivan Stewart. He's going to try the outside move again. Here we go, as he's got to close off the door because of Danny Thompson's stalled vehicle. And now, Ironman does it again, takes over on an outside move. Unbelievable driving by the Ironman. And quickly, Walker Evans must be losing some power because he's dropped all the way back from second place to fifth.
Oh, there's no question. As they came out of turn number 4, the Jeep went into a major stall, and about 4 cars took the opportunity to pass him up. But it is Rod Millen running a just flawless race in this moment as he gets a little bit sideways as he comes down the washboard.
Well, there's Ironman in second place. In third place, teammate Steve Millen. And there is Rod Millen with less than a lap to go. We're on the final lap, and it's Rod's race to win here. Unless he breaks, he is going to take this very, very easily. And Ironman Ivan Stewart and the Toyotas with Steve Millen, his teammate in third place, will finish second and third. There is Rod Millen. Let's stay with him as we go around for the last few jumps. He'll come into turn number 4 here, and a fine driving performance by Rod Millen in the Mazda. So Toyota wins heat number 1, Mazda wins heat number 2, and that will be the big showdown in the main event. All right, let's go back to the battle when Ivan Stewart was battling Walker Evans for second place. Now, Ivan, last time out at Anaheim, made the same type of move on the outside where it gets real soft, running over everybody's fiberglass. All of a sudden, Walker seems to bog on the power, and Ironman just literally takes away second place.
Quick Facts, brought to you by Quaker State Motor Oil. The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
If you take a look at one of the Grand National Sport trucks, especially in the front end, you'll notice something unique. There will be no radiator on most of the models, simply because you don't want all that debris and stuff coming up and putting a hole in. All you see really is a lot of motor and a lot of shock absorbers. So where's the radiator, you ask? Well, let's go all the way to the back of the vehicle, where you'll see that it's mounted right behind the driver. Now, this is Glenn Harris's Mazda, but they've also done something with the plumbing system. They don't want to add any extra weight to get this vehicle cooled, so what they do is they run all the coolant right through the tubular framing itself. Saves on weight, saves on time, and could mean a chance of victory.
Well, Marty, right now we have online the unlimited Super 1600s, and there's our on-car camera, or in-car camera, I guess.
Well, depending on how Robbie Gordon drives it, it could be either in the car or on the car. Last time out, he had our camera inside his vehicle and got upside down, gave the fans a ringside seat to what happens when these vehicles do go over. One thing to notice, if you've watched our racing action before in the trucks, with Roger Mears' vehicle, the ride is actually a little softer in the trucks, and maybe you'll pick it up here. Watch for it, that you'll see a lot more of the pounding vibration in these Super 1600s than you will in the trucks. The suspension system's not quite as soft, or not as forgiving, as I should say, in these Super 1600s as it is in the big trucks.
Of course, all these cars come with onboard fire extinguishers. A lot of safety features, Marty, built into these cars.
Robbie Gordon in our in-car camera, he is in row 3. Watch Brad Castle on the start. 2 cars in front of him. You can just see the yellow car there, right on the pole. Brad Castle right now, second in the points, and we're underway.
Well, we're underway, and it is the number 26 car of Dan Bentley that jumps out to not only a lead, but a healthy lead, and he'll clear turn number 1 all by himself.
And this is where things get real interesting early. Robbie Gordon was the number 1 qualifier and started in row 3, as we told you. We're going to go inside with him as he's making it through the washboard area and through the turn now, up over one of the jumps, now up over another. He's got a car on his left side. Watch him keep the inside line, and now we're back up front with 26, Dan Bentley.
All the while shifting, you can see the gear work going on. We've got a car upside down in turn number 3, Marty. It just is the wheel's still spinning, so it's going to have to be encountered now by the rest of the field coming around the track.
Well, Bentley in first place, and then Brad Castle in second. And you're right, they're coming up through the washboard area and then coming down into turn 3. And that's exactly where they're going to encounter this car. And whoa, look out!
I saw some indecision. He didn't know whether to go outside or inside. He went outside. The rest of the field took the inside line. So Dan Bentley coming out clean, nonetheless, from Yorba Linda, 27 years of age. He maintains the lead with 7 laps remaining.
But it gave Brad Castle a little opportunity to move up inside and close a little bit of the gap. But Bentley opening it back up at the straightaway.
Well, Bentley now on the far side of the course. This is where the motorcycles get air. And, of course, the Super 1600s do, too. We have another car flipped out on the far side. But Bentley encountered it just perfectly. And he works from the washboard. Let's go back inside. Look at him bounce around. Robbie Gordon in 3rd place right now.
Yes.
So our camera in fine position.
He just got through Jim Fishback Jr. to take over 3rd place. Now, you see that car in front of him. That's the yellow car of Brad Castle, number 16. Now, keep an eye on Robbie. Look at him shifting through the gears, coming up over through start-finish line. Hard landing. Remember, we told you about the difference in the suspension systems. Into the big turn sweeper, trying to set up Brad Castle now for the pass. Watch him try and cut down on the outside. He's going to try and take it way outside, but he can't go because the car flipped over. Now moves back to the inside. What racing action.
Well, we have 4.5 laps remaining. Let's set the scene. That's Dan Bentley in 1st place, Brad Castle from Buena Park in 2nd place, and the car with our camera inside, Robbie Gordon running number 3, and that's how it's been. Boom, 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 1, 2, 3, and as they come by the starter right now, we will have 4 laps remaining, and it is Bentley, Dan Bentley, 27 years old, that maintains the lead.
There they are. 1, 2, and 3. Bentley, Castle, Gordon, and he's going to try and take it. Gordon's going to take 2nd place if he can hold it, but watch out, he's going to come closing. Oh, what a move.
Oh, the back wheel nearly found the car that is dead in the water, and there you can see what Robbie's encountering out on the track. He's riding number 3 right now, and look, there's the dead car in front of him as he works his way inside. Bentley's dropped out, he's dead in the water, so it is Brad Castle that has taken the lead.
Bentley hit the hydro barrier. That's what caused him to slow down. He's now underway again, but now it's Brad Castle and Robbie Gordon. Gordon's going to try the inside line into turn 1. Not going to be able to. Castle will shut the door.
And who's that in number 3 position from Montana? It is Jim Fishback, who has taken the 3 position only because of the dropout of Dan Bentley.
Now watch Gordon. He's going to try and set up. The problem is in turns 2 and 3, you've got cars flipped over, and you can't take the outside line. You've got to stay inside. You've got to give away that corner. So what Robbie Gordon's going to try and do now is set him up going into turn 4. He's going to try and cut down inside low here, and he's not going to be able to do it on this lap because Brad Castle does a nice job of closing the door on Robbie Gordon.
Well, I'll tell you, there's some phenomenal driving going on outside. Brad Castle, 24 years of age, maintaining the lead, but the car with the camera in it right now belongs to our guy, Robbie Gordon, and he's right on his tailpipe, right on his tires. There's dead cars everywhere they have to encounter out on the course.
Watch out for Marty Coyne now, also in 3rd place, not too far behind Robbie Gordon. Again, back inside the in-car camera. Amazingly, I'm surprised the lenses stayed this clean. A lot of dirt's been flying.
Oh, look at Robbie. Almost had an inside line that time, but couldn't find it. You saw what it was like from the cockpit of one of these cars. These guys are not only drivers, but they're pilots. The white flag signifying 1 lap remaining, Marty.
Well, watch Robbie Gordon in this lap because I guarantee you the young kid is going to let it all hang out. If he has any kind of opportunity, he is going to try and stick his nose inside of Brad Castle and hold on to it. The question is, will he get the opportunity? Castle's doing a super job.
Well, there's a lot of slower traffic in front of him right now. Look at Castle trying to say, get out of my way. And there's Robbie Gordon right on the outside. They find the inside line.
There he goes.
He tried to force him, and he's got his front wheel hooked on his back wheel, but he couldn't pull it out. And it is Brad Castle, number 1. Robbie Marty Gordon, number 2. Marty Klein, number 3. What a race that was, Marty.
Brad Castle did a superior job, even though he was being pushed from behind by the leading Robbie Gordon. He was able to shut the door hard enough to hold on to win heat number 1 in the Super 1600s. Well, one of the most exciting elements, watch the right front tire rubbing up against the frame of Brad Castle's vehicle, and that's why those frames are jutting out like that, because otherwise those tires would be running up over each other, and you'd have cars flipping up and over each other a lot more often than they already do. Now watch Castle up and over, shutting the door on Robbie Gordon. Robbie literally into the hydro barrier on the left side, which we could not see, but he was wedged up against the wall, and Brad Castle went on to win the Super 1600 heat number 1.
Marty, we're in San Diego, California tonight, but stadium off-road racing is an offshoot of desert racing, and that's what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, this gives you an idea of the difference between the two. You notice how in some sections of the desert you will have nice straight stretches. Speeds in some of the vehicles as we go inside the cockpit can reach over 75 to close to 100 miles an hour on some of these vehicles. But in the stadium concept, what Mickey Thompson has done is taken all the pitfalls that you run into on the desert, stretched out mile after mile after mile, and compressed them into one atmosphere that everybody can see from start to finish. It's the one downfall of off-road desert racing. For example, some of the events will pick as many as 30,000 fans, but because you're spread out over a 100-mile course, it's awfully hard to see them. As you can see also, it gets a little dangerous for fans sometimes. They have to run like crazy to avoid the cars because the driver, I guarantee you, cannot see a thing right now. There's so much silt. But this is where stadium off-road racing came from. And believe me, right now, the Desert Series is thriving just as much as the Stadium Series is as well.
So it was Mickey Thompson, you see him right there, who got his start in desert racing, and what he did was bring a little chunk of Baja to stadiums all across America. That's where we are tonight. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Super Lights here at the Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. It's a 7-lap event, Marty. And again, these are the cars that are built to shake and bake.
Bill Goshen in the number 30 is going to be our pole sitter. Chuck Parker on the outside in number 29. And we're underway.
Well, and it is the number 30 car of Bill Goshen that has jumped out to the early lead. You can tell, look at the roll cages on these things, Marty. They are built to roll, they're built to rock, and they're going and flipping all over the place. It's unbelievable. 6 cars went down, and they still managed to keep going, Marty.
Well, already the battle up front has changed hands. It looks like Rennie Awana in the number 9 has gone from a second row. And yes, we do have one that's flipped over. Cannot tell a number from here right now, but Rennie Awana out in front of that accident.
Well, Rennie Awana is the leader. Chuck Parker is now in second place. Once again, this is the Mickey Thompson Off-Road Grand Prix Championship.
The vehicle that went over was number 2, Donnie Archibald. He is now back underway.
Rennie Awana, the man who is in the lead and on his tracks right now, is the 29 car belonging to Chuck Parker. These are super lights, and they are just that. They are super light, they are built to roll, they are built to tumble, and this is always exciting racing. The fans love to watch it.
Well, coming up into 4th place now is Russ East. He started 5th on the grid, fell back in that first turn encounter where everybody got jammed up. Rennie Awana, meanwhile, getting past a stalled vehicle. He still stays out in front, but Russ East has moved into 4th place.
And that is Richard Avaliero. That is now occupying the 3rd position in the super light category, but way out the lead is Rennie Awana, and he's opening up a nice gap. Now, let's talk about this, Marty. If you're going to get into racing, this is a good way to do it.
Well, you can do it for about $10,000. And it's about as cheap as you can go. And there is Russ East as he's passing Richard Avaliero. And it is Russ East now in 3rd place. Meanwhile, Rennie Awana up in front in the lead. This is the main event for the Super Lights.
Well, if you've got a car dead in the water, they're going to have to occupy some space on the far outside, Marty, and they successfully encounter that dead car in the water right now.
Well, Russ East is now past Chuck Parker and is in 2nd place. So Russ East, our winner at the 1st round at Anaheim, is now just in 2nd place. Rennie Awana is all that stands between East and victory.
Well, we got another car that has gone sideways, and it looks like Russ East is going to take the lead. Watch this, Marty. As they come down the washboard, they're going toe-to-toe, and Russ East comes out with the lead as they go to the switchback.
And you saw them quickly pass the 17. That is Terry Peterson. Now, he is the winner of our heat number 2, and you can see that he's just having no luck. You can't do it on 3 wheels.
Well, I'm telling you, he's sure trying. He's limping off the course right now as Russ East opens up a commanding lead in the super light division of Mickey Thompson Off-Road Racing.
Russ East, there you see him, just literally running away from the field right now.
It's Rennie Awana in second place. He was the man that maintained the lead for a good portion of the race, but not to be right now. He has dropped into second place.
East from San Bernardino, 26 years old, on a brakes belt, and just doing a super job. And here we go back to Rennie Awana as he is staying right in front of Ronnie Pierce. Now, Ronnie Pierce, the defending champion in this series last year, and he's going to put the pressure on Awana.
So to set the scene one more time, we are here at the Mickey Thompson Off-Road Grand Prix. That is Russ East with the lead right now. And we saw a number of cars stumble off the course. They limped off the course. There's still some cars that are simply dead in the water right now. Russ East's car is covered with mud on one side. You can't even read the number.
And this is the battle. Awana is going to be passed by Ronnie Pierce. Pierce is now in second place.
Well, Ronnie Pierce is the man that we all had our eyes on going into this, the man that is the points leader. And but Russ East doesn't care about that right now as he's running away with the lead. But they're second and third right now. And that's Ronnie Pierce in the number 1 car, the man that won the points championship. And they send out the white flag. We have 1 lap remaining, and Russ East is our leader.
As long as he does not make a mistake, Russ East is going to win this event and take home the championship prize. He is looking very smooth, although he seems to be a little bit too conservative in some of the sections. It looks like that Ronnie Pierce has closed up part of that gap. You can see there is the yellow car of Ronnie Pierce.
Well, Ronnie Pierce, as they come to the switchback, has a little bit of traffic in front of him, but even East bounces off a slower driver. That is still the limping car with only 3 wheels on
Terry
it.
Peterson.
Terry Peterson, but here comes East. He's going to take the checkered flag, and Ronnie Pierce is right on his tailpipe. So, Russell East is the winner of the Super Light main event here at San Diego, California, and look at him limping home. The car of Terry Peterson finishing on 3 wheels.
Well, you've heard of the victory and the agony of no feet. Well, this is the agony of no wheel. And that's Terry Peterson. He won heat number 2 in Super Lights, but managed, believe it or not, on 3 wheels to struggle on around the course to pick up a few points and finish the race. Russ East, 2 races in a row. Congratulations. You managed to work your way right up through the pack again.
Yeah, it took a lot of work. I broke a steering dampener, and I had to work real hard with the arms.
Well, tell us a little bit about the race. What do you think was the key to success for you tonight?
I think just hanging tough and never giving up.
Well, congratulations from all of us at ESPN.
Thank you, thank you.
You're in the points lead now.
Yeah, right on.
Well, Marty, we don't mean to confuse everybody. We're to the motorcycle, what they call the Ultra Cross division, heat number 1, 250cc bikes. And the reason we don't want to confuse you is they turn everything around. They go the opposite direction.
And there is a safety factor, a good reason why they do this, because the trucks and cars make so heavy indentations on the landing areas that if the bikes went on that same course, they would be landing in some deep, deep ruts. You can see how they're getting everything triggered. 1 foot pedal controls all the bungee cords, and they all drop, hopefully, at the same time.
Well, you'll hear the crowd. Boy, they will ignite here at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. When you watch them take that far jump on the other side, or even this first jump they'll encounter, the fans just come to their feet. They love it. These guys get about 25 feet in the air, and I'm going to tell you, it ignites the fans at any stadium racing event.
Well, they will clear the entire second set of jumps on the double on the backstretch. We're underway.
Well, there you go. You see what we're talking about. And as they go into turn number 1, it is the 53 bike, or number 63 bike, if you will, of Eric Hilton in the lead right now.
Eric Hilton and then the 67 of Gary Sailors in second place.
Well, those sailors who started on the front row as they go over the washboard area, and this is where it can really get your kidneys in trouble if you're not careful about it. But right now, number 67, number 64, it is Eric Hilton in the lead right now. Whoa, look at the far side. They grab all that air.
What's spectacular is Brian Manley has moved up from the middle of the pack to take the lead already, and with just one lap gone.
Well, we talked about those passing points that are available right now, and you can also see the bandanas flying from the back of the leaders' helmets. That tells you they started in the back and have worked their way forward already. Number 28, Jim Hollywood Holly, is in second place.
It is a battle between the two of them. Holly getting through, and he is now in the lead.
Well, it's Brian Manley that is now moving to second place as they go around the far side. Oh, and look at him grab there on the far side. It's amazing to bring the crowd to their feet. Jim Hollywood Holly, the leader. Brian Manley in second place. And they're fighting for it right now, Marty.
This is some great action. The fans are just loving it. Watch these guys try and cut on the inside. Manley trying to take it away.
But it did not work. That is number 28 in the lead right now, Jim Holly. And look at him finding air as they try and cut over the far inside switchback.
Well, I don't know if you saw that, but absolutely, Jim Holly cut over the barricade. He literally leaped over the barricade, cutting off the corner and moving well into the lead.
Well, that's one way to go about it. It's rather unconventional, but it seemed to work because Jim Hollywood Holly is still in the lead, and right behind him, Brian Manley. This is Delta Cross. Oh, and he almost lost his back tire right in front of him. They go over the front jump, and look at him come down wheel to wheel.
4 laps to go, and now Manley back in front. Now, this is the section. Watch the inside again, and watch the 28 bike. See if he cuts the corner again, going into this corner. There he goes. He's done it. Look at how he cuts inside. He almost got the lead.
Well, they go over the washboard area of the course. And here, you really want to be careful. Number 3 place, that's Tyson Boland, goes down. He had number 3 to himself and made a costly mistake.
Meanwhile, watch him come through. This is the double jump sequence, and there they go. And all the cameras go off here at Jack Murphy Stadium. Manley still in front. Holly right behind him.
And that's the way it's been most of the race. I couldn't believe it. I was watching Tyson Boland made a very costly mistake on the washboard. It cost him 3rd place here in the race at the Mickey Thompson Off-Road Grand Prix.
And Eddie Hicks is now in 3rd place, I believe.
It's Brian Manley maintaining the lead, and there we talked about it again. They cut the corner off, Marty.
I'll tell you, you've got to have a lot of confidence in your riding skills, because if you misjudge that and come down on one of those hydro barriers, you are not going to be walking away from that one without some kind of bumper bruise. Here we go.
Well, they're lapping up the slower riders as they grab some air at Jack Murphy Stadium. Number 30, Brian Manley maintaining the lead. We have 3 laps remaining, and they have gone front wheel to front wheel, 2 laps remaining right now, Marty.
I tell you what, this has been the most exciting heat race of the night so far. These two guys have put on a show single-handedly for the fans. Again, Manley in front, Holly in second.
And they're cutting the corner time and time again, but it is Brian Manley who comes out with the lead with about 1.5 laps remaining. And they're coming down to the far side, and I'll be a son of a gun if it isn't Hollywood who takes the lead away from it.
Well, Holly's going to hold it here, but can he hold it at the other end? Because this sweeper area is where the 28 machine of Jim Holly has been doing so well.
Well, Hollywood hangs on to it, comes down the turn. There will be a white flag, which means 1 lap remaining, and Jim Holly maintains the lead. Brian Manley is right on his tailpipe. We have about 1/3 of a lap remaining, Marty. Now's the time to be careful.
Oh, look at how much they've cut that off. That is unbelievable racing action. And here we go. Oh, it looks as though, yes, the 30 by Brian Manley lost his foot pegs. That's going to cost him the race.
Well, it looks like Hollywood Holly, all he has to do now is hang on, be somewhat conservative, and drive this up. And look at the confidence he's riding with, Marty. The highest air we've seen today.
Well, he's definitely going to win this heat now, all because of that one little bobble by number 30, Brian Manley.
There's the checkered flag to Jim Holly. Brian Manley will finish second, and his left hand goes up in victory. Number 28, Jim Hollywood Holly is the winner of heat number 1, the Ultra Cross. we have reached the portion of the program called the Ultra Stocks. And Marty, why don't you explain for everybody exactly what are the Ultra Stocks?
Well, Ultra Stocks, if you were into any other sport such as drag racing, you would call them funny cars. I mean, basically what it is are chassis that have bodies on them that look similar to the vehicles that you would see out on the course of driving through town. For example, there is a Mazda, but I guarantee you your Mazda at home would not look like that of Bill Silverman's who's sitting on the pole. Other than that, these are purebred race cars. They have a tendency to really go fast, go high, and go over.
Well, Marty, I'll tell you one thing. They are now going, and that's Bill Silverman in the number 18 car. Had the lead temporarily, and these big cars are making a lot of room as they come around the far side. And as they skid into the washboard area, it is the number 12 car belonging to Lloyd Castle who opens up the lead, Marty.
Well, Lloyd Castle had himself one heck of a ride in the heat race. Right behind him is Vincent Temelin, and he is running in second place with Greg George in third place.
But it is Lloyd Castle right now opening up a phenomenal lead, and that is Vincent Temelin.
Oh, and there's our leader going over and over and over. We told you they had a tendency to do that.
And he rolls on his side, almost ends up on the roof, and the Ultra Stock car is going to sit back and watch the rest of it on television with us.
Well, Lloyd Castle, we hope he is okay. He is moving around in the cockpit. You can see him there. Meanwhile, back up front, everything looks to be okay. High sign all right from everybody.
I think we've got a new leader. He took the inside position. That is Greg George that is now taking over the lead as they go to the switchback, Marty.
Yeah, Temelin has been bumped to second spot. Bill Silverman in the Mazda is third. So Greg George, now our leader, he was involved in that pushing and shoving in the heat race with Lloyd Castle. So I'm sure he was not too happy with the way things went. And look at that pass by Silverman on Temelin to take over second place.
Well, we started with 5 cars. We are now down to 4. Greg George took the opportune moment to find an inside move and simply took over the lead. He just stole that lead.
Well, we actually had 6. You'll see coming across the washboard area, the number 71 of Tim Lewis. But he is dead in the water as well. And
that's Silverman taking over the lead one more time. Oh, and he goes dead in the water, and he's on his side and can't get it into gear.
Everybody's going to have a chance at this one. The 4, this could be just a matter of who survives.
It's who makes the last lap by themselves. Well, Greg George has maintained the lead, taking it right back. Bill Silverman in the orange car is running number 2 right now. And it is the number 2 car of Jeff Elrod from Campbell, California, running number 3.
Well, right now, it's stretched out a little bit for Greg George. And the one thing he would love to do is keep some of that distance between them, not make any mistakes. Into turn number 2. Jeff Elrod putting the pressure on, and he's going to go past Bill Silverman. Silverman has been passed. He has stalled the car, and he's gone from second to fourth just that quickly. So Greg George now has to worry about Jeff Elrod. George at first.
Silverman has been powering down the entire race. He seems to lose power and then suddenly finds it again. He's losing it back in the back. But here's Greg George, our leader.
It could be a fuel pickup problem. What happens sometimes is that the fuel sloshes around in there, may not be picked up and fed into the carburetor system.
Well, these carburation systems are very complex. Silverman trying to make up lost ground, but here's the leader. It is Greg George in the number 4 car. And in the number 2 car, Jeff Elrod. And in the off-season, he loves to fish. And out here, he'd love to reel in a win today, Marty.
Well, Elrod is again smoking. He smoked during the heat race. And he's going to try the outside line. That could end up proving to be very costly because it'll put him outside the groove. But he manages to fight it back in and is going to try again to pass Greg George.
And Elrod's on the far outside. Could not find an inside move. He needs to find the direct line. But he's going to find it on the straightaway, Marty. Jeff Elrod will take the lead as he goes sideways. And Greg George is refusing to let him back in.
Here we go. Look out!
Oh, they split cars there on the outside race. Greg George in the blue and white car. Jeff Elrod in the black and yellow car. And Greg George is refusing to give up any ground.
Well, George is maintaining the race line as the day and the evening is wearing on. The line has expanded, but notice he gets on that nice hard pack. Meanwhile, Elrod's got to fight his way through all the loose stuff.
Well, this started out a 7-lap event. We have about 1 1/4 remaining as they go into turn number 4, one of the toughest on the course. But it is Greg George that will take the white flag. 1 lap remaining. The main event of the Ultra Stock.
Into turn 1. Notice that Elrod, I think Elrod, if he's smart, holds up his pass until coming back across the washboard and try and cut down on the inside, because he does have the power. Oh, he makes a mistake. He gets hung out.
Here's what we need to watch for. There's a car dead in the water at the end of the washboard. It is George that takes the inside, Elrod that takes the outside. 1/2 lap remaining. Elrod's only got about 400 feet of track left to do any moving, and it's going to be Greg George turning turn number 4, and he's looking right now at a checkered flag, and it is Greg George the winner, Jeff Elrod number 3, and the number 18 car of Bill Silverman finishing 3rd. But there is the winner, Greg George, in the number 4 car, the winner of the main event, Ultra Stock at the Mickey Thompson Off-Road Grand Prix, San Diego, California. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event, the granddaddy of them all, the Grand National Sport Trucks. They race hard, they race every week, they know each other, they know their machines, and Marty, this is what they come to see, a 10-lap race.
Well, you know, really, you mentioned the fact that everybody knows each other. Off the track, this is a close group, you're right. They stick together, they trade some of the secrets, not obviously all the technical ones, but once they strap on the helmets, the driver's suits, and climb behind the wheel, you can forget about it all.
You might have guessed by now, these cars take a terrible beating out on the track, so suspension is very important. Marty Reed shows us exactly how and why.
If the engine in an off-road vehicle is the heart, then certainly the legs of these vehicles has to be the shock absorbers. For example, taking a look at Ivan Stewart's Toyota, just examine one shock absorber. On your car at home, it can withstand about 2,000 pounds of pressure, but each one of Ivan Stewart's shocks can handle 9,000 pounds. That's 18,000 pounds on this one side of the vehicle alone. To give you an idea, drop your car off the roof of your home. You won't be able to drive it, right? But in this Toyota, you'll just keep on plugging along.
The people to watch in this race, I was going to tell you, keep an eye on number 6, Steve Millen, but we have been told that the Rough Driving Committee has moved Millen to dead last on the grid. Now, your chances of winning this race from the dead last starting position are going to be tough, but if anybody can do it, Steve Millen is certainly one of them. Also, keep an eye on Ivan Stewart. The Toyota this week has been running extremely well, both in practice and tonight in the main events and in the heats.
They call him the Iron Man, and he got the nickname because he drives the Baja 1000 alone, single-handed. Ivan Stewart, you also showed why that nickname is true. The last time we were on ESPN in the stadium race at Anaheim, you made a pass that was just unbelievable. It shouldn't be able to be done, but let's go through it again because we have it on videotape, and I want you to describe this.
Well, Marty, you know, I was running along there pretty good. We ran real good last week. And I saw those 3 other trucks up there, and I saw 3 Mazdas that were leading a Toyota-sponsored race, and I thought, I just cannot have this. I got to do something about it, and I drove a little more aggressive than I usually do, and it paid off. You know, you got to be real careful, though. You know, we have a whole group of people that are watching this race, and they penalize you for being a little bit over-aggressive. So you try and do these things without anybody seeing you, but it's dive in there and tear a fender off and not get penalized. It's kind of tough, but we worked out pretty good last week.
Earlier tonight, Marty Reed had a chance to meet a guy that I tell you, I've idolized this guy for a long time. Al Unser Sr. is with us tonight, and Marty chatted with him earlier.
Normally, Al Unser Sr., your familiar face is behind the wheel of an Indy car. Tonight, here at Jack Murphy Stadium, and it's a different pace for you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's a change of pace that I enjoy doing. This is really a lot of fun. It's hard. It's not easy, and it's so different than what I'm used to that it's really fun.
Describe some of the differences for me. Obviously, you're not going airborne in an Indy car, hopefully.
Hopefully you're not. And these you do. These you have to, you know, be able to judge your speed on the jumps and make sure that you're on the throttle at the right time. It's a difficult job. It's not easy. It takes a total different technique of driving, and it's hard for me to come in and just step in and do this because I'm not used to it.
Well, here it is, the granddaddy of them all, the Grand National Sport Truck, and it is the main event, ladies and gentlemen, the one they all came to see. And we've got our eyes on the attention at Jack Murphy Stadium and our starter.
And Al Unser's on the pole, but he's not been up to snuff as far as performance tonight. I can't see him staying there long.
Well, he didn't stay there long. It was Glenn Harris in his Mazda that jumped out to the early lead, and there's cars all over the place, Marty.
That's Walker Evans.
Walker Evans goes upside down. He's on his side right now, but it is Glenn Harris who escaped any of the difficulty in front of him. And his teammate, number 1, is Jeff Huber right behind him.
Well, Glenn Harris won this event here last year, and right now it's Mazda 1, 2, and 3. It is Harris, Huber, and then Rod Millen, and here come the Toyota.
It was a Mazda sweep in the opening event of the Mickey Thompson Off-Road Series in Anaheim, and once again, Mazda's running 1, 2, and 3.
Now look out, because here comes Glenn Harris right over the area, and there is still Walker Evans' vehicle on its side.
Well, the closest thing to catching any of the Mazdas right now is the Toyota, but there's the number 2 car of Glenn Harris. He's our leader as he comes across the washboard.
Go back to third place if you can, guys, because Ivan Stewart has got the inside line on Rod Millen, and he's going to try and make it stick, but Rodney shuts the door.
I'll tell you one thing. Iron Man Stewart would love to live here and love to win here. I said live here. He does live in San Diego.
But he's never won here at Jack Murphy Stadium. This is hometown for him. He wants to win this one badly.
Out in the lead right now, the number 2 car of Glenn Harris, 29 years of age, from Camarillo, California. This is a 10-lap event, and they're having to negotiate that dead car out.
And there's another one. That's Joey Moore. He's up on his lid. Right now, Ironman Ivan Stewart, and is being passed momentarily by his teammate. There we are up front with Glenn Harris leading. Jeff Huber second in another Mazda, and the third Mazda of Rod Millen in third.
So the Mazdas are showing once again very well here at the Mickey Thompson Off-Road Grand Prix. And there we saw the battle going on back in the pack.
Yeah, third place is going to be contested again as we're still looking up front with Glenn Harris coming over on the backstretch there, missing Walker Evans' dead vehicle.
Well, it looks like a car graveyard out there right now. Cars upside down, one on its top, but the Mazdas could care less. They're running 1, 2, and 3 right now, and it is the number 3 car of Iron Man Stewart, the only guy close to the Mazdas. Here's a look at the battle.
Yes, here's the battle for third place. That's Rod Millen and Iron Man Ivan Stewart. Now watch out. He's giving a little love tap there. He's letting him know, saying, Rod, I'm back here, buddy. I know you don't want to look at any of mirrors because you don't have them. You don't care about them, but I'm here.
Well, these are breakaway fiberglass bodies, and they have a tendency to do that. The cars run about $75,000 to $125,000 apiece. And there's the race. Look at him skirting around the corner now. And Stewart had to go wide. He missed the opportunity to go inside. So it's
I think it's going to pay off. He did it before in Anaheim. He's going to keep the inside line, and he's going to take over third spot.
Well, Stewart drove like a madman. You can see his body parts starting to break away now from the car. They are fiberglass. These cars have only one gear, ladies and gentlemen, and they're geared to go up to 90 miles an hour automatic transmission.
And Rod Millen at the halfway point takes the third spot back away from Ironman Ivan Stewart.
So Stewart's still trying to catch some fender work of one of the Mazdas in front of him, and that's the big race right now. Here's Stewart again trying to catch up, and he does it. He's going to pass him on the far corner. Oh, he had to go wide again.
But again, if he can make it pay off and get the inside line, but not this time, Rod Millen's going to shut the door real early. Oh, Millen's going to go over.
Oh, he pulled it back at the last minute.
Yeah, but it cost him third place. Ironman Ivan Stewart now in third.
Well, it went from four-wheel drive to the two-wheel real quick on that one. Ivan Stewart now maintains third place at the Mickey Thompson Off-Road Grand Prix.
Meanwhile, Glenn Harris running away with it up front. It is Mazda running 1 and 2 with Glenn Harris and Jeff Huber, and then Ivan Stewart in third.
Ivan Stewart told me in Anaheim when he finished out of the money there, finished fourth, if they had one more lap to go, he said, I could have won the race.
Whoa! That was almost again. Rod Millen has gone completely around, and he has dropped well back now. Ironman Ivan Stewart trying to take over second place on Jeff Huber.
Well, the race really right now is for second place, and it's Huber and Ironman Stewart, and he goes up on two wheels. Stewart right on his tailpipes. We have 3 laps remaining. So it's Glenn Harris who continues to set the pace for the rest of the field, and it's Mazda's running 1 and 2 right now.
And Toyota's running 3 and 4, with Millen in fourth and Stewart in third. This is the battle for second place. Ironman's going to try the outside again. He's giving up an awful lot of ground there. Gives Jeff Huber a chance to open up some ground going into the washboard.
Well, remember that we're at Jack Murphy Stadium. It was the site of Super Bowl 22. Today it's the site of some rock and roll in San Diego, California. Glenn Harris still the leader. There's Huber in second place, the number 1 car, 2 laps remaining. And Ivan Stewart running third in the Toyota right now.
Glenn Harris has had a nice run of it.
He's been uncontested from Camarillo, California, 29 years of age. You see the Mazda spitting fire, belching fire out of the side. What happens is a little bit of gas will build up in the chamber, and it just burns it out. There's nothing wrong with the car. You'll notice all the Mazdas belch fire. There's nothing wrong with them at all. 1.5 laps to go.
Yeah, and the battle still is for second. Jeff Huber trying to hang on against Ironman Ivan Stewart. We're back up front right here with Glenn Harris. Here's the battle coming into turn 4. The white flag is out. 1 lap to go for everybody.
Well, let's bring them on home now. This is the Mickey Thompson Grand Prix Championship from San Diego, California. That is Glenn Harris with the lead. His teammate Huber is in second place, and Ivan Stewart, who lives in San Diego, is running third. He has never won at Jack Murphy Stadium, and he's only got about 3/4 of a lap to do something about it, Marty.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen again this year. In fact, it's going to be tough even to take over second place because Jeff Huber has done an excellent job of driving his Mazda truck in second spot right now.
Well, there is our leader. He is led from wire to wire. It is Glenn Harris. He'll come down the final line, and Glenn Harris will take the checkered flag, the winner of the main event of the Grand National Sport Truck, Jack Murphy Stadium, San Diego, California. Huber finishing second, and Ivan Ironman Stewart finishing third.
Well, let's go back to the very first lap when it all ended for Walker Evans. Now you can see he gets caught in between the two jumps, and all of a sudden somehow gets end over end, and then he is upside down and on his side and looking backwards onto the jump. And that was it for Walker Evans in the Grand National Sport Truck main event tonight. Glenn, I got to tell you, there's an old saying the crew says if you bring the truck back in one piece, it means you haven't been driving. How did you manage to win a race? And I don't see a scratch on that vehicle.
Well, we were fortunate to be able to start in the front on this last main event, and that really helps because there's so much competition out here in close contact that usually you come out with some scars.
Well, you won this event last year. Your teammate, Rod Millen, won the first event of the season at Anaheim. Some of these guys are saying we got to put anchors on the Mazdas to slow them down.
Well, Marty, believe it or not, they already did penalize us from last year. We ended up having to add some weight to our truck, and we're still competitive, so I guess we can't complain too much.
Well, you drove a super race. Did you have any problems out there at all?
Well, no, not really. The Mazda truck just worked fantastic, and I went to a General Tire that was very suitable for the terrain for the main event here, and I think that's really what made the difference.
Well, congratulations from all of us. A great job.
Thank you, Marty.
The Mickey Thompson Off-Road Grand Prix Championships were brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers, and proud sponsors of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. For all you do, this Bud's for you. This has been a presentation of Bud Sports through the facilities of ESPN.
The great